Street for half a mile.
Can you see it? So y'all, I'm down here in Kansas, like southern Kansas, almost on the Oklahoma border. And I am at a spot called Big Brutus. And it's this giant, like, mining bucket. I don't know exactly what it's all about. But there is a campground here. And there is a museum, and you can check this thing out. It's like...
In 1,000 feet, you will arrive at your destination.
I know where I am. It's ginormous. But they're almost closed. So we're probably just going to set up camp for the night. And then we'll have to check out the museum and this thing in the morning. So let's see what we can do here. I don't know what the camp session's all about. But we'll figure it out. It is huge. All right, y'all. So I had a campsite reserved, like I said. But that would be like a primitive campsite right out front here in front of the building. But I just asked, oh, turn this off. I said, pretty please, can I go park right down by the thing and camp down there? And Susan in the office was very nice. And she said, yes, that'll be all right. So I am going to pull in by this thing somewhere and camp down by it. Super stoked that they're letting me do this. I don't know exactly. She said just stay on the high ground because they've done some grass seeding and whatnot. I don't really even know exactly where to go, dude. I'm just super excited that she's allowing me to camp down here. I'll just stay up here. This is wild, dude. Check that out. That thing is absolutely massive. I can't believe she allowed this. Thank you, Susan, and thank you to everyone here at Big Brutus for letting me do this. I don't know if I'll even be able to get this whole thing in the shot, but I think we'll just park it right here and see if I get hassled. Check this out, y'all. I don't think you guys can probably even get how big that is yet. Look at that thing. Can't even get the whole thing in the shot. All right, like I said, they're closed. They're going to be closed for the evening here very shortly. So I'm just going to get my junk set up and we'll probably get ourselves some dinner going and I'll get back to you guys. All right, I got the truck opened up and set up. You can see I changed my sheets since the last video. And yeah, that's about it. So there's a pond right there, which is kind of nice. No fire pits, so I can't have a fire or anything, which is kind of a bummer. But we've got this massive mining thing, and I believe, I won't be able to tell you until tomorrow because I don't know what's going on here, but I believe this thing may have dug this stuff out. It may have dug this entire pond out. And I'm kind of on a hill right here. I don't want to really like overstay my welcome, but as I was opening the truck up, the guy was coming around and locking this thing up. So I think I can wander through this entire thing. I think there's like rooms inside of this thing that I can go into. There's other stuff out here. So there's another little mining rig over there. There's a couple of those. There's a couple of tiny ones down here. Like that's your normal little bulldozer right there. And this thing, but let's go check out the bucket. As he was driving around, he was in like a first gen Dodge Dakota, and the tracks on this thing were taller than the truck. So here's the bucket. And I'm inside of it. That's gotta be, it echoes in here. I'm 6 foot tall. That's gotta be like 10 foot tall at a minimum. Maybe like 10 foot by 12 foot. Yeah, I kind of like I said, I don't know. I'm really excited to check this out in the morning, if you guys can't tell. I'm geeking out over this. But I think they just they were digging this stuff out and they just parked it here when they were done with it. And that was it. There's walkways all around it. And then there's the operator's room. But here's the tracks. Let me go stand next to the track and give you guys a shot of that, because it's taller than I am. I can stand inside of the track on this thing. I'm sure some of you guys out there are equipment operators and you can understand how big this thing is. But we'll have to wait till tomorrow morning to really get a sense of this and what is going on. But I'm just gonna go cook some dinner up. It's beautiful out here right now. I didn't really pick up anything good. I was in a jam to get down here. I had some other stuff to do this morning. So I just stopped at the local Casey's gas station and I picked up a bag of like rigatoni marinara or something like that. We'll see when we get to the truck. So we're gonna cook that up with some like spicy beef jerky, I think, or sausages that were sent in a long time ago that I've had in my box that I've been munching on. And that's gonna be dinner tonight. So this is what we've got. Pastaroni heat and eat rotini marinara. Just rotini pasta in marinara sauce with natural flavors. We can put this in a pot and cook it, but typically you can just stick this in a microwave. And we are going to use, I know I've got them in here, these guys. Duke's hot and spicy shorty sausages. So I've eaten some of these. I've opened this thing up a while back. I don't think I ever filmed it, but we'll chop a couple of these up and put them inside of there. And the dang old flies have already taken over the camper, but we can get them out of here. Do we use that in my burner with a pan, or do we just... Yeah, we're gonna use the battery pack. I've got my phone plugged in because I had maps running the entire time and I didn't plug it in. We'll use one of these. And just need some silverware. Probably a fork. Do I have one that's clean? Yeah. Alright, I gotta grab my burner, which is in my food tote. Definitely didn't need to bring a coat with me. Just get this guy. And in the last video, and I didn't catch his name, I feel bad for not remembering, but I'm horrible with names anyways. I ran into the guy that sent this in. He also sent in the Navy vet plate that in the old live streams was hanging on the wall in the back of my, in the basement down there. But, all right. I think this one's, oh, my wieners are falling out. I think this one's just gonna be called Truck Camping in the Shadow of Big Brutus. I think that's a good name for the video. I really didn't think they would let me just pull down here like this since they had established campgrounds, but it's one of those things that you'll never know if you don't ask. So sometimes you just gotta ask. Ask and you shall receive. I feel like this is just going to take the little one here. I kind of looked around at this place on maps and I knew that they didn't have any fire pits. So I should have planned a little bit better, but I hope this works on here. Yep. Stovetop directions, you got to add 2 tablespoons of water. Ooh, we just need that on low. It's gotten hot already. 2 tablespoons. And then put some of our sausages in it. Three of those probably enough. I do have a salad with me too. We might have that. This isn't a whole lot of food, but it's definitely enough. Keep trying to get marinara all over everything. Why don't we just break out that? Got marinara on my carpet. Why don't we break out that salad anyways? Gotta have something healthy. So I've got this Fiesta salad also. Had this floating around in the cooler for a couple of days now. Oh, come on. Oh, you see the airplane? Look at that. There must be crop dusting out down there now. We're gonna use this tailgate cheese. Tailgate cheese, is that a new brand right there? Most of it anyways. I think this is like spicy ranch. I think that's about ready. Well, nothing fancy. Dang, old dang. Nothing fancy for dinner. except some tailgate cheese. That's about the best thing we got. But I'm here to see the sights, not to cook something fancy. Shut that guy off. I think that's ready to go. Yeah, I'm really curious what this thing is all about. That's a good camp meal. The sausages are smoky. And there's walkways. Ooh, you can see that maybe that there's walkways all the way to the top of that thing. I doubt we're gonna get to do that. Maybe if I ask pretty please again. It's a tasty dinner, y'all. Nothing fancy. That's good. I'm curious what kind of engine is in there. It's got to be massive. Some massive diesel. If you guys have anything cool like this near you that you know about, drop it in the comments. I'll mark it down on maps and maybe check it out in the future. It's big. Alrighty, y'all. Sun has gone down. I've been hanging out in the truck. Talked to the wife on the phone for a little while, and I'm getting ready to go to bed. I'm excited. You guys already know from me geeking out outside, but I'm excited to check this thing out in the morning. So I'm just gonna get to sleep so I can go see it, and I'll see you guys in the morning. I guess I can give you a temp check of what it's going to be tonight. I got the windows open. I think it's going to be nice. Currently 59, low of 49. So I'm going to leave the windows open as far as they are. Chance of rain tomorrow, but I don't think it's until tomorrow night. So won't matter for this video. But yeah, low of 49. It's going to be beautiful in here. I will see you guys in the morning. Oh. Fresh, clean sheets. Feels good. Oh, good night. Oh, good morning, y'all. Oh, it was a great night sleeping. Some point in the middle of the night, there was a wild pack of coyotes out there, dude, that seemed really, really close. And then this morning, the birds have been going crazy. There's birds all over that thing, so yeah. Birds woke me up, but it's after 8, so I'm gonna start getting ready because they open at 9. Oh man. Yeah, beautiful night. Oh, I don't want to get up, but oh, I suppose. Ooh. I tell you what. Had me a little midnight snack. Oh, it's probably breakfast too, because I didn't bring anything else. I did grab some of my Folgers little baggies. I'll have one of those guys today.
been staring at that thing out the window. And I guess I can show it to you. Oh, yeah, you guys can see it. So there's like walkways that go up this whole thing, right? I mean, obviously they'd need to be able to service everything and the cables and whatnot. But there's also a walkway right here. So this whole thing has to come up flat. And I think that's the only way to get across, to get to that walkway that goes up. And then this whole thing moves back and forth to move the bucket around. And then, yeah, to dump it, it opens on the backside there. It's kind of one of the wildest views to wake up to next to the truck. I don't know. It's just so dang big. I'm excited to see what this is all about. It's going to be interesting. Oof. Other than that, it's been pretty quiet. There's a road out there, obviously. Not much traffic. A few airplanes. That crop duster flew by a few times. Other than that, nothing really. I didn't even hear the other campers. Yeah, I'm really glad that they let me come over here. It's a cool spot. I would highly recommend coming down here and checking this out. And I haven't even seen the inside, seen anything yet, really. Oh, the coffee's going. The guy's here to open everything up. Can you guys see that? That's a Dodge Dakota parked behind the bucket. That gives you a little bit better size comparison. That's a truck. Just doesn't even compare to the size of the bucket, let alone the machine. Yeah, it's kind of wild. He drove by it last night when he was locking everything up, but I didn't get it on camera. That's good enough. I can hear that guy out there talking. Must be on the phone. Well, I'm gonna get this cup of coffee in me and get changed, brush my tooth. Didn't bring my toothbrush. Flies already. They might have been in here, honestly. Get out of here, fly. Why you gotta be in here? Annoying. See what the temperature is out there. It's currently 58. High of 73 today. Rain possible this evening. So I'm gonna be down here for another night. I got another spot to go. So might be some rain in the next video. All right, I gotta brush my teeth. Go check this thing out. Probably just gonna drive back to the front. I don't feel like leaving the truck here is probably the most appropriate thing to do. I took a million pictures. I'll probably take a couple more before we head out, but all right. Stoked on this, y'all. I don't need my seatbelt to drive over there. Wonder if they have somewhere I could put a sticker up. It'd be cool if they had like a sticker wall, but I don't know if they do that. Yeah, here you can see where there's electrical hookups, and I think there's water and sewer over here, even like full hookups if you want to come down with a camper. There's another bucket right there. There's all sorts of stuff behind the building we'll be able to check out. Then out front here, you might be able to see there's little posts, and there's some water here, and there's posts, like all the spots that look like they have water. But yeah, like that's spot number one. You could camp right there. Same thing over here, spot number 4. All right, let's see what this is all about. Hello. Good. All right, so we're gonna start at Big Brutus, and then we'll make our way back this way. But so it was used to mine coal seams. There's coal seams in the ground here, and I was right. This was the end of it. They parked it, and they tried selling it for like 10 years, and it never sold. It was all electric. It ran off electricity, I guess, and I was way off on the weight. It weighs 11 million pounds. Yeah, let's see. The shovel is taller than a 15-story office building, 160 feet from the ground to the point sheave at the top of the boom. The boom is 150 feet long. Dipper handle is 88 feet long. Its maximum dumping reach was 150 feet, maximum dumping height 101 feet, and the maximum digging depth was 69 feet. So the power plant it had provided 7,500 horsepower under normal operating conditions and 15,000 horsepower under peak load. That's crazy. It had one operator, one oiler, and one groundsman, so they only needed 3 guys to run the thing. There's like a mini version of the same kind of shovel, basically. But she said there's 2 floors in this thing that you get to wander through. Can't even get the whole thing in the shot. It's wild, and I'm still 20 feet away from it. So there's like access points underneath of it. Maybe I'll be able to wander through that. So there's the bucket. I kind of showed that to you guys last night. And we go in under here. That's big. Above your head is the reel that the power cable was stored on. The cable was connected to an external power source, 7,200 volts. There's a piece of the 3-phase power cable still attached to the north end of the reel. So this paperwork they gives you has all these numbers on it, and then it explains, because you can see a number 4 right there, which would be the jacks. There are 4 42 diameter hydraulic jacks, 1 on each crawler. The jacks were used to keep the machine level on the uneven pit floor and to allow the machine to be raised another 5.5 feet. So we're at the base of it where it spins. Look at those, like, all the wheels. So this whole thing would have been able to spin around. Yeah, it was parked right there. It's kind of eerie, honestly. The revolving frame. Everything from here on up is supported on this roller circle. There are 90 16-inch diameter rollers in the circle. The circle is 45 foot in diameter, and it allowed the house to rotate 360 degrees. And we're inside of it. It's kind of low in here. Oh, there's like just little rooms everywhere. Let me grab a light. So there's another hatch there that they've got welded closed. And some big ram or steering. There's another door there. Yeah, look at all these breakers. This is like the front of the machine. It's like big air intake right here. People have been scratching their names and stuff into it. I gotta go through here, right? Oh, it's just a hole. Somebody stuck a sticker over there on the wall. Yeah, lots of defacing in here and graffiti. Oh, sorry. It's kind of high, like the walkways. It's almost like you would have in a boat, like flood control. All right, go through the other door over here. The ceiling is low. It says Big Brutus and surrounding acreage donated to Big Brutus Inc. by the Pittsburgh and Midway Coal Mining Company, dedicated as a coal mining museum, 7/13/85. Restored through a P&M grant and volunteer labor of P&M employees in tribute to their predecessors and successors in the coal fields of America. And I don't know if that's Big Brutus there, because there's a few different ones. That's obviously a different style. And then, yeah, another one. This, is that it? I can't tell. She got more photos. This one's pretty faded. It's supposed to be like big chunks of coal or rocks, I don't know. Maybe this says. Yeah, a pile of coal. Got some more photos up here of the machines working. And up to the second floor. Oh, this is huge. I didn't really realize that this, like the entire inside of this would just be open like this. So this is where the motors sat, but they salvaged the motors before they decommissioned this thing. It says there were two 3,500 horsepower electric AC motors mounted in the center. They operated 13 DC generators, which in turn operated 13 DC motors. The DC motors operated the main winch, swing, and crowd. Look at the size of these cables. That must be the main winch. I'm hoping we can get into the pilot house, or I guess I don't know what you would even call it. Break room and operator's booth. Yep. And this is it. There ain't much to it. Wow. I expected there to be more stuff up here. But, I mean, it's a pretty simple machine. It's just cables. Pull this thing up and down, back and forth. Same with the boom up there. And then you've got the thing to open the bucket on the back. Swing brake, crowd brake, hoist brake. A couple of pedals. Oh, there was a heater. So you could retract it. Fan, cab light, emergency stop. And a couple of cables. I gotta sit in the seat. It's big in here. I'm guessing this spun around. Yep. So it swings out almost. You would just sit here and dig. Plenty of view of what you're working on. And it's wild to think that this was the end of it. This was a coal strip mine. Kind of surprised, a lot of the newer stuff would have a glass floor so you could see down, but you can see the bottom of the shovel there, so I guess that's not necessary. And then Yeah, this, you could swing this open. What does it say about here? The operator's cab. This is where the operator worked. He was the person in charge of the operating crew. His job was to do the actual digging. He could swing the house with the foot pedals. Oh, so the pedals would turn the house or whatever. I wonder what actually made it crawl. Maybe it's these side ones, but you would think that's operating the bucket. Strip pit. The strip pit and land areas across the pit were the last places that Big Brutus worked. The open area all the way to the far tree line was stripped and the coal was removed. Then the land was leveled and reclaimed. This is all part of the 15,000 acre mined land wildlife area. It is public use land maintained by the Kansas Department of Wildlife Parks for hunting, fishing, and recreation purposes. The pit in front of Big Brutus was the last pit Brutus worked in. Its maximum depth is about 50 feet and totals about 2 miles in length. It is stocked with fish by the Department of Wildlife and Parks. The department stocks about 200 pits in the mined land wildlife area. They're all open to the public. So if you look this place up on Google Maps or Apple Maps or whatever it is you're using, you'll see these pits that are all just like straight lines. Because it must have just like dug and back up and dug and back up. So I guess it went from 1963 to 1974, and these were the people that operated it, the oilers, the groundmen, and the operator. Still just kind of amazed how massive it is inside of here. I don't know if you guys can really get a grasp of it. It used to be able to go out on the boom, but the insurance company closed it. Elevator? The elevator was the only way into the house when Brutus was in operation. It is inoperative now because of the lack of three-phase power to the shovel. The house rotates around the elevator, which is stationary. And then here's some cables. It's kind of dark in here. This is the main hoist. Ooh, they're oily. Duh. The main hoist was operated by 8 500 horsepower DC electric motors. There's 800 feet of wire on each side. The cable weighs approximately 25 pounds a foot. The main barrel and attached gears weigh a total of 93.5 tons. Well, I guess if there's ever an apocalypse, this would be like a place to be at. So there's a lot of, these must have been maybe some of the motors. You can see like this has all been stripped out. And it doesn't surprise me that they stripped about, you know, as much of the stuff out of this thing as they could. Some photos of it. There's like areas to get inside of it. Yeah, it's just a whole ass building in here. Some tools. It's wild to think about. This thing was actually like a movable object. It's kind of crazy. So, like I said, this gives you all the information so you can walk around and read this stuff. So yeah, there's like a gantry crane above you. You guys can maybe see right there. And that would be able to move back and forth this way and this way.
and that was used to move the electric motors, or like pick them up and replace them, that were in here. And you can see all this wiring on all of these where the motors would have been attached and wired in. Yeah, there's some there too. Each one of these has wiring sticking out. All right, going back down the old steps. There's a couple electric motors, it looks like. Or like, not motors, transformers. Yeah, transformer room. The transformer room was the main electrical distribution point for the shovel. The external power source was connected to a set of collector plates and then connected to the transformer room where it was distributed throughout the machine. You know, I fully expected this thing to be like on a big diesel motor. I think I said that last night. So the fact that they just had this thing like plugged in to, you know, city or something power, I don't know. It's kind of wild. You got windows. Keep out. It's eerie. And they've got like a bunch of hatches and stuff are all welded closed. There must have been a lot of electrical in here. There's still probably a couple tons worth of copper in this thing, I bet. And I think this is like the same thing that was on the other side that we crawled into. Check that out. And there's a door here, but it's bolted shut. General Electric. Ow. Yeah. Yeah, there's still a ton of wiring inside of this thing. Ton of copper in here. It's kind of a bummer, like the face plates and a lot of this stuff is missing. So I bet that looks kind of neat, but it's just old. You know, you can tell how old this is. It looks like it was like a communication box or something. It might have been like a phone hanging here, I don't know. Yeah, it's wild. All right, we're headed back outside. The guy's out there mowing, so you'll be able to hear that. It is like tight spaces and low ceilings. And we're back out on the other side, closer to the gear sets here. It's wild to think this whole thing could just spin around and move around on its own, considering it weighs, what did I say, 15 million pounds? 11 million pounds. Bummer you can't walk out onto the boom, but there was a sign saying that the insurance company closed that off. So at some point you could walk out onto those catwalks. And there's big ventilation holes right here. Yeah, dude, that's cool. What a massive piece of machinery. It's like a whole house. You're driving around a house, basically, on giant tracks. 4 giant tracks. And it's cool that these, you know, they were on the hydraulic ram so they could keep the whole thing level. A lot more electrical. So I'm guessing the electrical kind of came in from the back here. Couple of wires there. Oh, it's like, must be cooling plates, all Westinghouse. It says each one of these like trays is 600 volts, 450 ohms. Yeah, power just must have came up right here. connected to all of this stuff. Wow, there's a bunch of them. Wonder if these were enclosed at some point, but doesn't look like it would have been. Ran 24 hours a day for 11 years. That's crazy. Think of how much power it pulled. Each pair of crawlers or trucks are powered by a 250 horsepower mower. Each crawler tread is 5 foot 6 inches wide and weighs 2,008 pounds. The gear case for each truck holds 2,200 gallons of gear oil. The normal propelling speed is 0.22 miles per hour. It's crazy that it ran 24 hours a day for 11 years. So they had they had to at least have 2 crews working at all time, or you know, one in the morning, one at night, unless they did 3 shifts, but that's crazy. Where do I go down? Oh, over here. Yeah. Just hanging out under Big Brutus. It's surprisingly low to the ground right here, but this is that elevator shaft that I pointed out inside. So this would be the only way to get in while it was under operation. There would be an elevator in here. You can see the elevator buttons right there, and it'd go up and down into that middle room. There must have been a ladder or something that came out down here. Yeah, we can't go up there, or yeah, it's right here. And there's where we went in at. Yeah, it's kind of wild. Nobody wanted to buy it for scrap, but just the man hours in operation of taking this thing apart would have been, you know, it would have taken you years to get this thing disassembled. And the bucket. So yeah, it would dig, you know, it'd do a swing and dig, and then this whole back piece would open up so you could swing, dig something out, probably turn it, and then dump it. I don't know if it would like just turn around and dump it into the back of a waiting dump truck or something like that. Couldn't tell you. The bucket dipper has a capacity of 90 cubic yards, or approximately 135 tons of material. He could complete 1 cycle in about 55 seconds. The trap door on the bottom was controlled by the dipper trip motor. Look at the teeth on this thing. It's cut, you know, they got the platform covering it up, most of it up, but they're pretty big. Well, there's all these little ones around here too, and up there. Looks like you can go in this one. I'm sure that like some of these older ones were probably operated by steam power or something. Oh, I didn't even realize that was a shovel. I thought there was just a shed over here. So there's 4 of them sitting over here. Markley shovel. Yeah, the size of this one compared to Big Brutus is like nothing. You know, comes up to my waist. Yeah, I really wish we could have climbed up to the top of that. That would have been so cool. This one's pretty bare inside. Look at this operator's booth, and then you just had everything right here next to you. Dang old spider web. Oh, it's a homemade power shovel built from spare parts picked up in junkyards from July 1930. I don't know if you guys will be able to read that. Big chains and gears, and yeah, it's just a tin room. There had to have been a motor sitting in here. Let's see if it says. The power was an old 6-cylinder automobile engine. taken from a machine which a junk dealer purchased for $10. He bought 2 of them, installed them, and found that one furnished all the power he needed. The top of it's an old boiler, part of a boiler, because you know, if you're digging and you're kind of below grade, things could fall down and crush it. That's kind of wild, the engineering these old guys had back in the day to just build this type of stuff out of spare parts. All right, he's mowing over here, but we're going that way anyways. So I want to see this one that's like a shed. Oh, this one was on tracks. I mean, not railroad tracks because they're so much wider, but yeah, it's on tracks. 1920 Page dragline model 222, drum set number 23, 100-foot boom with a 3.5-yard bucket. Wilkinson Coal Company, Weir City, Kansas, 1917 to 1979. Yeah, and it's just literally just like a house built on this thing. That's a giant motor. Wow. And then you just have the operating station here. That's wild looking. Ooh, dude on the motor just hit something. Yeah, you just look out the window and operate this thing. It's kind of wild that they have it on tracks. And very rudimentary. So this all looks like it must have been like hydraulic or steam or something. And you got your foot pedals. It operated everything. Man, and then the cable just came through inside here. One's on the floor. It feels sketchy in here because, like, what happens if one of those things snaps, dude? You're done. See if this says what kind of motor it is. Oh, this was used on the Red River in Louisiana to dredge sandbars in the river. That was in the 1930s during the Great Depression. It was dismantled in Louisiana with labor that worked for 10 cents an hour and shipped in pieces by rail to southeast Kansas, where it was reassembled and used here. The machine is operated with a Caterpillar diesel engine. The original engine was a Page 2-cylinder. Yeah, that's a huge diesel right there. It's like as big as I am. All right, get away from the mow man. Head back towards the front of this, towards the main building. Yeah, so here's just some basic like mining machinery. Here's another boom with a bucket on it. Motors. There's another big diesel right there. It's yellow. I assume it's a Caterpillar. Caterpillar grader right there. It's a D13,000 motor. And then over here you've got there's a mill, drill press, and trip hammer. Oh, it's just a drill press. I thought it was a mill. There's a massive drill press. And then a hammer, so this thing would bounce up and down. And there you got a hammer right here. They were both used by the company from 1928 to 1951. They drilled into the plate a few times. And then this would have been for blacksmithing. You could spin this handle to rotate this, and it'd blow fire or blow air into your coals here. Keep your stuff hot, and you've got a anvil right there. Let's go check out these trucks. Technology has definitely come a long way since the time this stuff was used. Old semi. And this might have been what they were dumping each bucket of coal into. And then you could open these on the bottom and it'd come out. So wherever they were taking it to. These came out of a limestone quarry. Don't know if we can, no, the door looks like it's drilled shut. Can't get inside of it, bummer. Couple more graders. It's like a, I don't know, some sort of mining thing. Short wall saw was used to undercut the coal seam. Then they drilled and set charges to collapse the coal seam for removal. It was used at the Kruger mine at Cherokee, Kansas. That's cool. 2-speed. A winch. Also came from the same mine. Another big bucket. Wonder if this almost looks like it could be the same size as the one that's on Brutus. Not supposed to climb on it though. I don't know if it says. Oh, there's the door from the back of it. Yeah, no information on that one. Oh, maybe over here. "40 cubic yard dipper." This dipper bucket will hold 40 cubic yards of dirt and rock. It was donated by the Peabody Coal Company from their Roger County Mine number 2 near Veneta, Oklahoma. The dipper came off of a model 5561 coal shovel. The weight as it sits here empty is approximately 60 tons. That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, all this stuff had to be super heavy duty. And then, I don't know if you guys can see, but there's cables along the walkway, and these were off of Big Brutus. They were found on Big Brutus. It was the hoist cable used to lift the bucket. Weighs 25 pounds per foot. There was 800 feet on each side of the hoist. It would only last about 6 months before it would break. I mean, I imagine they could melt it back down and reuse it. Alrighty. Let's head inside and see what's inside. There's an old safe out here, that's cool. Another safe. Tons and tons of photos of them. And stuff that was mined. Coal strike drilling rig. This must have stood up or something.
Some coal. And there's a movie in here if you want to watch it when you're here. I would definitely recommend coming and checking this out. Like, I'm guessing the size of it just doesn't convey to the video, but it's, yeah, it's like driving around an entire 5 houses, I guess. I don't know, that one would have been the big one. What should we get? Big one or a little one? Alrighty, well, I picked up a couple of stickers. Had to, right? And I got the big bumper sticker, which is basically the same thing, but I can stick that on my toolbox or something at home. But on that note, I think we're just gonna go ahead and close this video out here. This was a cool one. Big shout out to these guys here and Susan at the desk last night for letting me camp up in the field next to it instead of out here in the parking lot. Like, this is fine. There's plenty of spots here, and then there's the RV spots, but it was super cool to be back in there. And yeah, like I said, I don't think I'd have to review the footage, but I don't feel like it's going to convey the size of this thing. It is so big, so big. It's definitely worth checking out. And there's that pond here. I don't know, I'm sure you could go kayaking or something. I don't know if there's a boat ramp, but it's huge. Maybe I can show that to you guys on maps here. You can see I'm at Big Brutus, and then there's, yeah, there's like the strip pit, and there's that way and that way, and they're all over. There's one there, and those were all mines, like strip mines. They're all over the place out here. If you start looking around on maps, like next to it here, those are all strip mines. There's more there, a bunch here. Strip pits, wildlife management area. There's, you know, more there. These are all, we're all coal pits. They're everywhere. And this is all public area that you can fish, and I imagine you might be able to camp in these spots too, but I've got another spot that I'm going to try to check out for the next video down here, but the lady at the front desk wasn't sure if it was open, so that would be a bummer. So, no, what is today? Today's Tuesday. Yeah, it doesn't open until tomorrow. Bummer. I was going to go check out the Heartlands Railroad Museum. But yeah, that's for the next one. So, as always, stay tuned for the next adventure. I'll see you in a bit.